All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brad Gottschall. I am the Lower Paxton Township Manager. In typical fashion, I'm going to give a brief summary of this evening's agenda, particularly for the benefit of those who may be watching at home on television, as everyone gets in and seated and ready to conduct business here. This is a business session of the board. They have a number of items on the agenda. First, to include right off the bat, action to appoint a temporary meeting chair, approval of minutes, public comment, some various reports from the board members and staff. And then under old business, the board will take action to retroactively approve a set of minutes. Following that, under new business, the board will take action to accept the resignation of Supervisor Paul Navarro from the board, take action to fill a vacancy on the board, administer the loyalty oath to John Atkins of the Lingelstown Fire Police. Then, after that, take action to approve change order number 2, that being for the BC7 Sewer System Improvements Project. Take action to approve an option with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for Hocker Park. Finally, take action to, take action to approve a municipal lease agreement for a public works vehicle. Take action to approve an employee separation agreement. Then, under land and subdivision action, the board will take action to approve a declaration of previously subdivided lots. Take action on the improvement guarantees, the payment of township and authority bills. And then finally, with all that said, make a motion to adjourn. And now, finally, all the members of the board are seated and prepared to conduct business. Thank you very much.
I will call the Tuesday, April 1, 2025 Board of Supervisors business meeting to order, and I will ask Supervisor Thompson to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, board members, first item of business is we need an action to appoint a temporary or a pro tem chair of the meeting. Do I have any motions?
Solicitor Madden, I'd like to nominate Alan McCormick to serve as the chair in an interim capacity until such time the board can reorganize.
Do I have a second? Any second? Motion fails. Do I have an alternate motion?
Solicitor Madden, I cannot second my nomination, right?
I am not aware of any rule that you may not.
In that case, I second my nomination to chair.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
So I will go ahead and say that as the only elected supervisor here today, I feel like I should be the interim chair. We didn't have any issues when Paul Navarro stepped up to chair the meeting previously, but we seem to have an issue today. But in order to get this April 1st meeting moving along, I will go ahead and support Supervisor McCormick to temporarily chair the meeting, even though I am, as I've said, the only elected supervisor sitting up here. I'm 14 months into this position, and he's been here since January 6th, so I will go ahead and support him because he wants to jump over me. But we need to get the meeting started, so I will do that for the sake of getting this meeting moving along.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries, and I will hand off the gavel to Supervisor McCormick.
Next item on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is meant for any of those issues not on the agenda for today. So public has something that they'd like to offer tonight to the board, please do so now. Please limit your comments to not more than 5 minutes.
Apologize, Supervisor McCormick. We have to approve the minutes for Ms. Shelley, please.
I apologize. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're now ready for public comment. Step up to the microphone, please. Give us your name and address and tell us what you'd like to talk to us about.
Good afternoon. My name is William Stephen Johnson. I reside at 6705 Conway Road. And again, once again, I'd rather not be standing here. It's not one of my favorite things to do, along with some of my neighbors. However, I am here today because I had one of my neighbors approach me at church and informed me that at a meeting on 3/11, Supervisor McCormick made comments, and basically she told me that according to Mr. McCormick, you really don't have a problem with noise. And I says, what are you talking about? She says, go listen to the meeting. So I did. And again, maybe this was not your intent, but, and again, I went and listened to the meeting and I wrote down verbatim some of the things you said, and basically said, we had a resident come to us a couple of meetings ago and complain about dust and poor air quality. And went on to say that Mr. Johnson this neighbor wanted me to visit with him. I did visit with him, and I went back out because he wanted me to be there when they were grinding and then says, no, I didn't meet with him. And so that's sort of how that went. And during that, the whole reasoning for those comments was to praise the officer for going out and taking the decibel reading. And then quickly wanted to make a point of reference that a decibel reading of 65 decibels is similar to two people having a conversation, and then went on to say a reading of 70 decibels was not much louder. And again, I'm not sure if the intent was to say, it's really not that loud. It's in Mr. Johnson's head. He's coming here for the last several years since they opened it, and he's been complaining it's not that loud. I wanted to bring in a vacuum cleaner today and set it in back of you and let that vacuum cleaner run during the whole meeting, okay? Because that's what I hear inside my house, in my bedroom. If I sit out back, it's loud. So I have to listen to what appears to be like a vacuum cleaner running with ups and downs as they grind and they churn and whatever they do. And I brought a whistle because in between that I have to hear backup alarms inside my house, okay? And then you hear the dump trucks, and that's not even loud. I mean, when they bang, it just scares you. Your stomach drops. And medically, I know that's impacting me physically. The dirt levels is as late, and I have a picture, and I want to show you the picture. I washed my car. 3 days later, I didn't move the car. It was covered in dirt. And dirt, not dust, not tree pollen. The tree pollen's coming now. That's green. This is dirt. I have to take a hose and wash down all the cars and clean the windshields off before we can drive. It's not just my cars, it's my neighbor's cars. The neighbor below me, she said she went out the other day. She started to run with her daughter and started choking. She had to go back inside. The neighbor above me, he told me, I asked him if he would come to the meeting, but he said he couldn't keep a civil tongue. He said the dust levels inside his house are extremely high. So it's not just me. The neighbor below me also said that her husband constantly complained about the noise when he had to work from home. I work from home. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson, did you get a copy of the decibel report done on March 7th?
I haven't yet. I did put in a request, but I didn't receive it yet. So
Okay.
I'm still waiting on that. But once again, I just want to point out, so below, at the compost site, one of the neighbors also pointed out that there was a little 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of paper put on the lower gate, which was recently closed because they just opened it, I guess, a few days ago, but it was closed. And that letter was informing residents that they were applying to renew the general permit for the compost site through DEP. And certainly none of the neighbors were informed. Now that they're opening the site, if you open the gates, you can't see it at all. But luckily for us, one of the neighbors spotted it, went up and read it. And so I just want to note, I want to put this into record. I did write a letter to Mr. Timothy Nault at the township, and basically a formal objection to the renewal of the general permit for the Lower Paxton Township compost facility located at 6613 Conway Road. And as a resident living adjacent to the facility, I have experienced numerous issues that have significantly impacted my quality of life and the enjoyment of my property. Noise, dirt, particles, hours of operation, unsightly views, odors. And so given these ongoing issues, and I'm sort of paraphrasing, I strongly urge the township and DEP to reconsider the renewal of the permit. And if I may, can I show you a picture of my car? If I could just show it to you.
While you're showing the picture of the car, I just wanted to go ahead and add that I have a copy of the decibel report done on March 7th, and it does show that the noise that is being made while the grinder is in operation at the compost facility is above the noise ordinance decibel reading allowed. So the site is in violation.
Yeah, but once again, I don't know that you meant any disrespect or was praising the police officer, but that's the way it came across to folks listening on TV, to my neighbors, or else they wouldn't have presented it to me. But once again, I think that the remediation and mitigation of the site of these issues should have taken place before they actually opened it. The study should have been done. Whether or not my house sits in an area where the dirt comes out, I'm not going to say which township personnel came out to my house because I don't want to get anybody into trouble, but they also said if they had to put up with the dirt issues that they saw in my car that day, they said that would irk them, to no end. But I mean, these are the issues that we face. And when the dust is moving around, I can't go out in my backyard. I work from home. I go out once an hour to walk my dogs just to get out. And again, please, I just really ask somebody to come over. I know you've recently put up some dirt berms and some different things, and we're going to see how that affects noise. But they still have to control the dirt and need somebody to come out when they're running the grinder, churning limbs and larger limbs and sticks, and when they're running the turner, and just to really get a gauge. But come to my house. You went to the other end of the park or wherever you went, that's not at my house. I don't know when the folks came out that were professionals and did the study for noise, and they said, hey, you're like in a wind channel. So if it's coming to my house and it's not going all the way up to the park because it's right in back of my house, come to my house and see exactly what it's like. See if you would live through that in your neighborhood. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, you have my full-throated apology if my comments that I meant to be benign in any way, shape, or form indicated you do not have a problem. And I will tell your neighbor that, and I will tell anybody that listened. When I visited that day, the police officer told me he was in your house and took decibel readings from inside the house. Is that accurate?
That's true.
Okay. And when I called you on the phone while I was sitting in my vehicle at the compost site, did you not tell me that they were only churning or disposing of leaves today and that the noise wasn't that great as it normally can be.
That is true, but it
And
was
did
still
I not
noise.
ask you at that time if you would please alert me to the next time you have noise levels that where they're doing these bigger tree limbs and things, and I would rush
Yes.
right out. I even bought a decibel meter of my own so that I
Yes.
would be able to read that. So I do not consider this matter closed. I do consider your complaint valid. I do want to work with you and your neighbors to find a solution to it. I will tell you apologetically again that over the past couple of weeks, we've had a couple of other issues kind of arise that kind of grabbed our attention. And I don't mean that as an excuse. I just wanted to let you know that I did want to commend the police officer that was out there because I thought he behaved appropriately and represented us well. And I think that's important that I let those people know that when they have done a good job. As far as your particular situation goes, I apologize we haven't fixed it yet. I do intend for the township to make some sort of effort to, I went over the road. Part of it is macadam, part of it is not macadam. Maybe that's where the dirt is coming from. Maybe the dirt is coming from inside the compost facility itself, but I don't know the answer to that yet. It's hard to fix a problem when you don't know what the problem is. And very honestly, I was waiting for you to get back to me and let me know when that louder noise was going on so that I could capture that and only make your argument about the noise a more valid or more important or more significant issue. So again, I apologize if anything that I said indicated that I thought there wasn't a problem or I thought that anything of that type. The reason I went out there twice, at least twice, to see that is because I heard your concern and I very much want to address those concerns. And again, please let me know the next time the louder noise is coming, even if it's the trucks or the backup or whatever. I'll drop what I'm doing and come out and try to understand better the problem. That day that I was there, the noise level, I didn't test them. The police officer tested them. I did ask, as Supervisor Thompson has indicated, there were some decibel levels that were greater than the ordinance. I was only waiting to hear from you so we could get louder decibel levels that you indicated were oftentimes there. Again, I apologize if something I said was taken as some sort of representation that your concern wasn't valid. That is not what I meant.
All right, well,
okay?
thank you. I mean, just equating the 65 decibels as two people talking, maybe that's true, but if I'm running a vacuum cleaner and it's on forever and it's only registering 50 miles or 50 decibels, it's still a nuisance, right? If it's continuous. And so when I heard that, and then to say it was only 70 to make, to throw that point of reference in when the officer was there, that was just seemed to come out of left field and to lessen what is a problem. And that's why I'm here, just to point that out, that people that hear that, it is a problem.
Again, you have my personal and
Yes.
professional apology.
Thank you.
When I said that, what I meant was at 70 decibels, you had indicated to me that at other times, the noise is much greater. And that's what I was, in my mind, I was equating it to. Again, my apologies. I had no intention to minimize the complaint you made. And, I understand there is an issue. I don't, I don't know what, if anything, we can do to fix it, but there will be an investigation. We will do our best within the scope of the ability we have to address those problems. And you and I, when I was standing in your backyard, we talked about a couple of those things that we might be able to do. And,
Right.
and I haven't backed away from that,
Right.
okay? I just don't know if we can do it yet. There are things we can do and things we can't do. And I apologize for that as well.
And just to let you know, as they move around the yard, it's just not the road in the back. Even when they're grinding, you can just see the dust just going. And if the wind's blowing, it's coming, and it'll choke you. So it's all the activity in the yard brings up that dust. But thank you.
Other comments, please?
William Miller, 4311 Crestview Road. I'm going to piggyback on his question or his situation. The one I've seen lately is I've been picking up a lot of trash on Goose Valley. I go down and do stray winds. I didn't do it this year. And a lot of it's plastics and recyclables. Now I did I did 2 bags within 75 yards on Goose Valley. We did more than 2 bags over there at stray winds last year. And I did ask some people here before the meeting. Neighbors have told me that the waste company is now using a vehicle at times, and maybe because the other ones that load from the side and dump are out of service. This has a small dumpster thing in the front, and the one neighbor said he sees them, they dump it in there, and then it comes up and goes over, and the stuff is going all askew. And when I go down along Goose Valley, because I live there, I'm seeing a tremendous amount of plastic, and it can't be everybody just throwing their stuff out of the truck. So I think it's something to be investigated. I physically haven't seen it. If somebody has a video, it'd be great. But I still, and as I go around the different businesses around here, I have also noticed behind one large grocery store on 22, behind another business, phenomenal amounts of trash lately. And it doesn't really bode well. The road, it's a blue road. It's out across from the Harley-Davidson place. When you're crossing from Old 22, the sheets would be catty corner on your left. When you look in that ravine, it's unbelievable. So I don't know what the solution is, but this is our township. It's more and more. But people own these properties. I think the jacuzzi behind the one beverage place, the owner could have picked it up within the last year and a half. And then all the other trash. Well, I didn't put it there. Doesn't matter if you put it there. If it gets on your property, you help your neighbor out. So I'm bringing that to your attention because it's starting to get out of hand. So do you rat everybody out, or as people are driving around and you see an issue, it's noted and somebody can look it up and address it with the owner. Just keep it cordial. The gentleman out at the yard waste. I'll try to make this really brief. This has been brought up in our Green Waste Committee meeting. Mr. Kistler, an expert in construction here, talked about a dirt bank. I've always said for the last couple of years, we probably really do need a good municipal planner, but the only solution I'm thinking on Conway is going to be a well-engineered, well-thought-out solution. There's a lot of dirt available. I beat the word up, but there's dirt out there. If we could get it there and build a higher berm, and then people will tell us what kind of berm, how high is the berm, and what do you cover the berm in to make it, pretty well take care of itself and long-lived trees that can survive. Now you have some natural abatement. I went to Zager Brothers. They wet things. On construction sites, you have water trucks. Well, how do you wet all this? I don't know. Again, it's an engineered solution. There are people that do this for a living, and we should probably take care of their combined acumen and see what they tell us to do. I'm sure the grinder could be moved. I mean, you have to look at the whole site. There was another site in the township that was going to be used for this purpose, and it was sold. So that's gone. Do we have to find another site? I don't know. But the waste in the township is never, ever going to go away. As the township grows, there'll be more and more yard waste. Something has to happen to it. Because I'm going to pick up some stuff near Home Depot. They just dumped it in the field where Gern and his boys where they do hay. Well, you can't have that there either. So people are looking for other solutions that are simple and cheaper. So again, I don't know if the municipal planner is it, but at least for the Conway, it's going to have to be an engineered solution. We need to get sidewalks even past Conway, and it's a bigger problem. That's why I keep saying municipal planner, to get the whole way down to the new park. They didn't put the sidewalks in. How could this have possibly happened? Since 1997, if my numbers are correct, about 90% of the waivers that have been asked for have been granted. You can't give away the sidewalks anymore. You can't give away curbing. It's a prime need as the township makes these connections between that which developers are doing. And the development's great. Entrepreneurship is great. But we're missing on some of the pieces. And I'm no municipal planner, but I can see the need for someone to be riding herd on every single one of these. Individuals can only wear so many hats, and you delegate that responsibility to other people, and then you glean all that data, and then you start making some really good, informed decisions. So hopefully, something's going to happen. Again, we want to include the sidewalks for the new park. We want to include safe sidewalks along Conway the whole way up around the bend for people. And you own all that property where the gate is. It's not just the gate. It goes each side. If you look at the Dauphin County parcel view or the tax map, you got a lot of land there. You can put in an automatic gate. You can put in sprinklers. But you have to look at the site and what do you want, and what's it going to be? What you want, you have to plan out so at the end you have what you want. We'll do a berm. Well, where should the berm be exactly? What do you cover it with? And what do you do for the water? Do we move the plant? Do we put more vegetation in a berm around the plant? Do we control the hours? Do we have to have a closed facility where the beeper on the loader, usually it's a one-man operation there, so maybe that could, are you allowed to cancel that? That's another solution to help them out so you don't hear that high-pitched shrill. The incinerator in Harrisburg uses a thump. It's a thumper. It's not a shrill. There's different kinds that still meet, I guess, the decibel rating. But I feel for these guys, and controlling dust isn't that tough. I mean, it's tough, but it doesn't seem to be that tough. And but the sound, the berm, they're doing the same thing down at the Wise Mark and their new development down there too. We met on that, and they're going to consider a good berm there and then proper vegetation. So this is a time for the township with the car wash debacle and this and that we start looking at these problems, because they're going to keep coming. They're not going to end, and the yard waste isn't going to end, and so on. So anyway, I just think that should be mentioned, because there's a bigger picture here. They're individual problems, but they're part of a bigger arena of thought.
If you can give us the addresses of these areas that have this exorbitant trash, I'd appreciate that.
I can drop them off. I don't want somebody visiting me in the night, but.
And I
But
don't
yeah,
want- I don't want you to give them out.
No, I just see them when I'm driving around. I go, oh my God, look at that. I mean, it really catches your eye on 22 and behind the one grocery store. You can't talk to that company. I did call them.
Yeah,
Go talk to the manager.
As far as the compost facility goes, I think Mr. Johnson has a very specific, I mean, his home was there before the compost facility was there. So having the compost facility added, I think gives him certain right to complain that maybe not everyone has. But I feel for him. I agree with you. I don't know what the solution is.
I don't either. I mean,
And we certainly can't fix it in a couple of weeks. I do think it's worth our while to get the decibel readings the next time it's louder. And maybe I'll talk to the manager to see if there's something we can do about figuring out the dust level. And, because I don't know. I mean, I looked at the road. Most of it was macadam, part of it was not, and it occurred to me maybe the dust was coming from driving in and out the road, but maybe it is coming from the compost facility itself. And I don't know how we would reduce or eliminate that dust. I imagine wetting it down would be one solution. I'm not sure where the water would come from, how we'd get it there. There's a lot of issues, but you're right.
Well, there
Somebody
are.
needs to look at it and come up with a complete plan for how to reduce the nuisance that we're getting complaints about.
sometimes in schools, we looked at the curriculum of other districts and see how did they solve that problem. And like I say, Zager Brothers, you got to worry about spontaneous combustion. You got to have to worry about putting water on something they ground. You got to watch, is there a plant that contains water? Is there one that can tolerate a spray within the grinding process? I'm pretty sure there are. And so, is it an investment? Sure, but it's an investment also in addressing the needs of your constituents, the people of the community, and to have them enjoy. The big thing is enjoy their homes. So,
See, some of the things too have to be approved by the state because we're not allowed to do certain things to remediate.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different issues here, and Mr. Johnson raises an issue, you raises an issue. I accept it as an issue, and I will continue to look into that. And Mr. Johnson, I would still appreciate if you'd let me know. You have my phone number. I'd appreciate if you let me know when the noise is that louder level you talked about, so that can be captured as well.
thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Miller, thank you for picking up the trash
Oh.
along Goose Valley. We
Oh,
appreciate
good.
it.
Well, I try to get everybody in my home. I'm on my board in my neighborhood, and you try to get one guy to do this, one guy to do that, and the other person to help the neighbor who can't get the trash can up. You kind of just, sometimes it'll self-perpetuate itself.
I'm especially concerned if we have somebody that's supposed to be picking up recyclables, and in the process of picking them up, they're dropping them on, outside. That to me
Yeah,
seems.
but I
like
haven't physically seen it, so if anybody's out there who sees it, they can do it would help, so you can document the process. But there's just no way all that stuff is just flying out of a window of a car. It's pretty, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Hi, my name is Christina Johnson, and I live at 6705 Conway Road. I just want to piggyback on what Mr. Miller was saying. And yes, actually, we just noticed, and we were just talking about all of the look like recyclables on the side of the road, off of Page Road and Lighters Lane going back towards Conway. So it's, there's a lot, and it's like, wow, it looked like Philadelphia, but it's all, on the side. So
No
it
disrespect
actually,
to Philadelphia intended, right? Yeah.
yeah, so it just kind of, it looks like it's just recyclables. So I think they're losing some of their trash.
Thank you. Got that, Brad? Any other public comment? Step up to the microphone, name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Janice Makett, and I live at 1509 Pine Hollow Road. I've been to a couple meetings. I'm a little disturbed that we went through 3 supervisors in 3 months. I'm concerned that there's a problem with administration, and I'm concerned with what the board's going to do moving forward and remedy the perception you're giving to the township on what is going on. Do we have a toxic environment? Do we have people within that shouldn't be there? I think we need some answers, and I think you as our representatives need to provide for us that you're fixing what's ever wrong and making it a little bit better. Or do we need to get rid of a few people who's bringing this toxic environment into our township? Thank you.
I think all the board members share your concern about losing the other board members, and we are actively trying to find remedies, if you will, or find out what the problem is and to eliminate it. We will be adding some new supervisors, and as we do that, hopefully we will be able to, as a group of 5, come to do an investigation and come to an understanding and allay your fears. Thank you for bringing them up, though. Any other, okay?
John Packer, 5723 Kenwood Avenue. Just to kind of piggyback on her comment, there is stuff on the agenda. So I kind of want to clarify, are we going to be able to speak about the newest resignation and any appointees at that time also, or is this the only time?
We will allow for comments when if an issue on the agenda comes up, yes.
Okay, well, I'll save any comments for when that comes up then.
Any board member comments? Any other public comments? Seeing none, board member comments? Hearing none, we will move on to the manager's report.
Sir, I have no official report this evening.
Old business, action, I'm sorry? No. Action to retroactively approve the payment of bills of 318, Lower Paxton Township and Lower Paxton Township Authority. Do I have a motion?
As treasurer, I make a motion according to Article 7 of the second-class Township Code to pay the bills retroactively. That's from the meeting that we missed on what was that, March 18th, Sam?
That is correct.
Okay. That's from the meeting that we missed on March 18th. We went ahead and paid those bills because our bills have to be timely paid, but we didn't have the meeting. So I am making a motion to go ahead and retroactively pay those March 18th bills. I need a second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. New business. We need to, action to accept the resignation of Paul Navarro from the Board of Supervisors. Is this the issue that you wish to speak about, sir? No? We received a letter of resignation from, I'm sorry.
Sorry, it took a second to get up. I just want to reiterate what she said and what I said months ago when Robin resigned. You know, there's apparently some sort of hostile work environment, I guess, for lack of a better term, or something going on behind the scenes. There's been numerous people over the weeks that I've been here, and some I haven't, but that have paraded up here and said there's issues. And there's ones that say there's not. But we've been saying it, or people have been saying it for months, and we've seen nothing get done. And I think that's her frustration, is we don't feel that anything's getting done. And I get it. This has been a whirlwind of people resigning, and it seems like there's no traction anywhere. But the perception is, even tonight, to be honest with you, the display of making you the chair, make that decision back there. Don't put it out for everybody to see. You look like a bunch of buffoons. And you make everybody in the township look a bunch of buffoons. So that's my piece for now on the appointment. I may have something else.
We did discuss it in executive session and were unable to come to agreement, so. Each of the resignations that we've received is for a very specific and different reason. I understand how someone from the outside can look at this and question what's going on. Each supervisor resigned for a different and specific reason, and it's sad that it came to that. And it's sad that we lost these people in a relatively short period of time. Because each is a individual and personal decision, and with all personnel matters, we're limited in what we can and cannot say. But Mr. Navarro told me why he, not necessarily, I think he suggested earlier, because of the confusion going on, he desired to resign. But he was forced to resign because there were some things brought to his attention that would have impacted his business, and he just said he can't continue to serve in those circumstances. And again, the previous resignation was based on health. So I understand how it looks from the outside, but know that the people who are sitting here now are doing the best job that they can to resolve things and come to a point where you can have confidence in your Board of Supervisors. Are there any other comments? Please.
Do I need to repeat my name?
Please.
Janice Make It, 1509 Pine Hollow Road. I'm going to say you can spin this any way you want, but I know specifically all three of the board supervisors. And again, the reasons that they gave, there's a backdoor. And we all know, based on these people, why they're leaving. So again, we can spin this, or we can get to the bottom of it and figure out what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Despite your confidence, I'm not sure that you do know the reason, but that's okay. I understand everyone is entitled to speak their piece. And we will, once we have a full board of supervisors, we will address that issue. Yes, sir.
Stephen Blaine, I live at 5732 Kenwood Avenue. You know, I've been coming to these meetings now for about a year. Started end of April, last May. Started with our sewer authority situation. And as we progressed, we saw how dysfunctional the supervisors were. And this all started because of Mr. Gottschall and his incompetence at his position.
I'm sorry. Those comments are out of order. We're
Okay.
here to speak to Mr.
Okay,
Navarro's
okay. Again.
resignation.
Okay,
and there-
well, then we'll speak at I guess, a public meeting. With that said, I know you're shutting this down, but you did Mrs. Thompson wrong tonight, too. She's the only elected official here, and you guys didn't make her
Yeah,
the
and
chair.
your comments are restricted
Okay,
to the
well, we'll
Navarro's
continue that.
resignation. These comments should have been made
All right.
earlier.
Well, Mr. Navarro resigned, as in the other two, Mr. Zumas, because the total, as Mr. Packer said, buffoonery up here. You guys are so incompetent in how you handled this earlier from one gentleman that these people resigned. And now we're getting more supervisors, and who knows how that happened. So I'll keep my comments to the next.
I think it's very interesting that so many people are so confident they absolutely know the reason why people have resigned. When I know all 4 people that resigned, and there were 4 different reasons why they resigned. The people who you say were responsible for the buffoonery, were they not the ones that resigned? Because I can speak to the current board. 2 of us have only been on the board for a relatively short period of time. So I don't want to get into the who shot John kind of thing. I ask people to please keep an open mind and to let us work through what is historic, absolutely historic set of unusual circumstances. We will get to the end, and hopefully at the end, you will be pleased with the outcome and have confidence in your Board of Supervisors. That's my intent, at least. I have no hidden agenda other than making certain that your Board of Supervisors has your, as I've said many times, I work for you. It's not the other way around, and obviously you can fire me. So, any other comments on the Navarro resignation? Hearing none.
Excuse me, are we going to read the Navarro resignation?
Would you like to do that, Supervisor Thompson?
No, I'll let you do it. It was my question.
I wasn't planning on reading it.
Oh, okay. I know we read the other 2 that we had previously.
No, we had someone from the audience read one, and we had a reading, because of it being medically related, we wanted to get that out because people would understand
Okay.
because of the rumor and innuendo.
Okay.
Would you like me to read it?
Well, I was just asking what the plan was. Do we need to read that into the record? You do not. You just have to accept it. Okay. All right.
Do we have a motion to accept the resignation of Paul Navarro from the Board of Supervisors?
I will make that motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Action to fill vacancy on the Board of Supervisors. During executive session, there was much conversation but no agreement, as we have been observing since the appointment of the last appointment. Can't hear you. I apologize. In executive session, we had a conversation and did not come to agreement as to who would be appointed. As you know, as we went through with the latest appointments to the board, that it was needed, it was suggested, and we agreed to have 3 positive votes in order to seat someone. In the absence of having 3 positive votes for any candidate, I'm not sure the board is prepared to make an appointment today. Does any board member want to make a comment on that?
Well, I have a question. When we came out of executive session, I was not clear as to where Supervisor Kurtz was in terms of her selection. Have you made your choice yet? You gave us a number of people that appealed to you.
I'm not sure it's appropriate for her to mention in open session.
Well, no, I wasn't asking an individual name, but not yet. What I'm asking now is, you gave us a number of names that you thought were attractive to you. Have you narrowed it down yet?
I wanted feedback from the other two board members who were not prepared to give me that feedback. But I did reach out to all of the applicants, and there are a number of them that I would support.
Okay, so we have not come to a consensus.
I don't believe we have, no.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other comments? We will try to resolve the deadlock in a manner appropriate.
Yes.
On this matter?
Very bluntly on this matter, because my name's one that's in for consideration. And a few weeks ago, you sat up there and bloviated how you call everybody and vet everybody. My application's been in for over 3 weeks.
I have not called you.
Exactly.
Yes. Is that the comment you
But
wanted to
you
make?
sat up there like a proud peacock and told everybody that you do that, and you haven't. So I don't know how you can make any decision when I know firsthand that you haven't contacted me. So again, I wasn't here for the meeting that blew up about the process, but apparently nothing has changed as far as the process, or there is no outlined process that you follow. Because if I was running interviews for a job application, I'd sure as heck call everybody before I said I can't make a decision. Because you certainly can't make a decision on me when I've never spoken to you.
I did review the information that you provided, and we had a number of applicants previously, and I freely admit I did not contact you. There was a candidate that I had previously interviewed that I deemed to be an outstanding candidate, was prepared to vote for this evening. We do have another vacancy with Mr. Navarro's resignation, and I will be contacting you. If you're still interested, you can advise me at that time. And if you feel slighted in some way, I apologize. And if you feel like I'm presenting myself as a peacock, that's certainly not my intent.
I would like to make a motion that we table item number 9.2 under new business action to fill a vacancy on the Board of Supervisors. That's my motion.
If I may, Mr. Chair, just briefly, because the deadline for filling this vacancy on the part of the Board of Supervisors is approaching quickly, I would recommend that you amend your motion to table it in the event that there's another Board of Supervisors meeting scheduled, but in lieu of that tabling, move the appointment authority to the vacancy board.
Okay.
I believe that timeline expires
The third.
on the 3rd, so on Thursday.
Okay, so I make a motion to table item number 9.2. If the board cannot meet prior to April 3rd, this action will be referred to the vacancy board.
Second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Administration of the loyalty oath to John Adkins of the Lingelstown Fire Police. Action on the change order number 2 for the BC7 Sewer System Improvement Project. Like to talk about this?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. I'm here tonight to present change order number 2 for the BC7 project. This is a time extension change order, and it's due to the ongoing documented utility conflicts with the storm sewer and PPL. I think we've had this discussion before that PPL needs to make sure that one of their lines is not still active before Dolly can proceed with the storm sewer work on Kenwood and Cloverdale. PPL had submitted a schedule saying that they would be on site at the end of March and today to do that work. They still have not been on site. They're supposed to be on site tomorrow. But anyways, the change order is to extend the time to substantial completion to April 21st and then final completion to May 15th. And then with the stipulation that if PP&L is not on site when they say they are, however many days it takes them to come out and make that line inactive, they would be granted those additional days. As you can see, I have signed this change order. The contractor has not. The contractor has not signed it and indicated they will not because they have requested the time extension to be the middle of June or end of June because they have the work that needs to be done after the storm or after the PP&L work is done, and they have kind of substantial punch list items still remaining. I've had conversations with Dolly and told them that, you know, the PP&L work or the work that needs to be done after PP&L is legitimate. Obviously, they can't move with getting rid of lines that are active. It's a safety concern for them. They won't touch those. So I have indicated to them that we would give them the time extension to do that work after PPL is done, but nothing else, since the punch list items could have been done last year, ongoing now. Obviously, some of the concrete work and things cannot be done in winter just due to the temperature, and paving cannot be done until temperatures are 40 degrees and rising, but that time has been ongoing since early March. So I know they've been out there doing some work, but so just so you know, that's why this has not been signed by the contractor. But there is a condition in the contract, in the general conditions, that indicates if the contractor doesn't sign it, that it can still be signed by me and by the authority here, and it would be binding. So if this is signed by you as well, the May 15th date will be binding, and any day that they are on site after that date and any day after the PP&L timeframe, liquidated damages would be applied.
Do you believe their reservations are appropriate, the contractor's reservations?
For the extra punch list items, I do not. They've been on different job sites, like the PC3 project, which is again a project that is being done for the sewer authority. They've been working on that one, and that one should have been, you know, BC7 was first and should have been completed before. So I do not agree with an additional time extension after May 15th.
Any questions by the other supervisors?
One question. This is the second change order. Was the first one for a delay as well?
The first one was for a delay. That was, again, PP&L, because PP&L has told us numerous times that they would be out to do the work, and they have not shown up. The first one extended it by 66 days, so it was just for PP&L, and then some weather delays and some extra time for work that was added to the contract, which again was appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
You say that one was appropriate, but you feel like this one is not. Sorry. You said that prior one was appropriate, but you feel like this one is not appropriate?
I feel this one is appropriate up until May 15th. If they're not signing it because they want mid-June, end of June. So
why would they want that?
they feel that they need that time to finish the punch list items.
Okay. What's on the punch list item?
A lot of curb, a lot of concrete. There's ADA ramps that are still not done. There's overlay paving, which again could not have been done until it hits 40 degrees,
Right.
but you know, it's been 40 degrees and it will be 40 degrees for some time until May 15th. So it's a lot of concrete that's still left, and I think there's still some yards and driveways, some miscellaneous items. I've got the punch list here if anyone wanna go through it.
But they can't do their punch list items until PP&L gets done with their work?
I'm sorry. They can do a lot of the concrete and a lot of the sidewalks. The only work they can't do is the storm sewer work that's on Kenwood and Cloverdale. So there's some storm sewer there. Obviously, the paving can't be done on those two streets until the storm sewer work is done, and some curb next to those two.
So some things could be going on simultaneously?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Does PP&L have a problem with working simultaneously with the contractor?
PPL just has a scheduling issue, I think. We have asked them to come out, the contractors asked them to come out. I know HRG has asked them to come out, and I'm pretty sure a couple people in the township have reached out to PPL as well to get them to come out and make the line inactive. But as of today, they still have not gotten on site to do that.
And we've used all the influence that we have?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Chair's open for motion on this
Can I
agenda.
make a
item.
comment on this, please? So, a lot of this, I shouldn't say a lot, but part of this work is directly in front of my house. And Mr. Gottschall knows, we've been coming here since last May, and we've been in this construction zone of a neighborhood for over 2 years, 2.5 years probably. We came here telling you it wasn't gonna get done. There was a contract extension before their time. Nothing has changed. Dolly does not send many employees out there. They have another party that does the concrete work, one crew. And we've said this before, there's one crew going around doing all these punch list items. And you did nothing from essentially September till now to, give them incentive by giving them some sort of penalty, which is in the contract. I didn't brush up on the contract. I read it before because I got a right to know and got it. So there are provisions in there that you can force them to do what they're supposed to do, but the township, again, hasn't done it. You haven't stepped up to do it. But the residents in that neighborhood are the ones that have to deal with it, with bad roads. They had a wall taken down to do the digging. They cut the sidewalk. It's been that way since September. Now we had a heavier rain the other week where the wall was and was holding back dirt. The dirt's all washing out. So it just compounds one thing upon another, and they need a strict timeline because you just keep giving them an extension. And that time should have come and gone a long time ago, but now's your chance to actually step up and say, yes, we're gonna enforce what's in the contract and make them do the work.
I'm not sure if it's going to be Mr. Gottschall or Mr. Miller. Why wouldn't we have, if within the contract, we have some enforcement rights, like fines, penalties, why wouldn't we have employed those?
Well, up until this point, it's been, we have been dealing with this issue for quite some time. I mean, these gentlemen are, entirely accurate, and their frustration tonight is entirely accurately placed. The simple answer to a very complex question, which is the fact that there has been a lot going on behind the scenes, which has made it, I'd say, exceptionally difficult for us to do that. It's not as easy as just assessing liquidated damages or taking them to court, for example, to have addressed the issue up until this point. Frankly, we've made it very clear to Dolly, as of this recent change order that, as our engineer had noted, that there will be liquidated damages assessed this time around. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Dolly has made it abundantly clear that they understand that. Frankly, we were prepared to, not even bring this change order to the board tonight. It was going to simply be done administratively. However, I wanted to make it super clear publicly that, we are particularly, and not to minimize the fact that we weren't up until this point, but as of tonight, we are particularly very serious about sending a clear and profound public message that they have X date to get the work done, and if not, liquidated damages will be assessed. No ifs, ands, or buts. So I think it's although it may be kind of cathartic to look back and ask why something wasn't done here or there, and we certainly will be doing that kind of in an after-action review of this. But as of this evening, the board, I think, has a clear direction moving forward to get this thing done, and both parties, both Dolly and the township, are prepared for whatever legal ramifications might come as a result of work either being completed, hopefully, or not on time. So I think we're in a good place tonight.
Other questions or comments by the board? Brad, if we don't give the extension, does that mean liquidated damages are already due? We don't give the change order number 2? Do you know?
That's an interesting legal question.
There's a series of legal issues at play here. Number one, about offer and acceptance of the change order, but number two, in terms of enforcement remedies and defenses to enforcement. I think what the change order does tonight is reduce to writing a very specific end date, irrespective of whether taking into account the PPL timeline and giving Dolly and putting Dolly on full notice of a firm date final to have the work done before we can simply assess damages, and if we need to do so, seek court intervention to get those collected on.
When board members of both of this board and the authority board have raised questions, we were told there's certain contract language that limits what we can do. I don't like that answer. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. But what you're saying, if I am understanding you, Madam Solicitor, is that this change order number 2 with a drop dead date is the best we can do?
I think it sets you up in the best legal position for actually assessing and then subsequently collecting liquidated damages.
I have a great deal of sympathy for what these neighborhoods have gone through, and they're right to complain. They are right to complain. And shame on us for not doing a better job. Other comments on this matter from board members? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second to the motion?
Second.
We've had a properly made motion and second to approve this change order number 2. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next item is action to approve an option to purchase agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for Hocker Park.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
I will take that, sir. Thank you.
got it.
Yes, sir. So this option to purchase agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is in reference to Hocker Park, a little mentioned but hopefully greatly utilized walking trail in the township. Beautiful area up on the northern part of the township. Back in 2023, the township had acquired from the Conservation District, actually the Boyd Foundation and Conservation kind of partnership, a portion of Hocker Park. And the intent really with Hocker Park and the action before the board this evening is to allow for a more seamless integration between Lower Paxton's Hocker Park in conjunction with the remainder of the trail, which actually goes to the Boyd Big Tree Preserve Conservation Area in Middle Paxton Township. The Commonwealth did approach the township just a number of months ago with the desire to, quote, purchase the Hocker Park from the township to take part in this greater conservation effort. And so at this point in time, the agreement before the board this evening, this option to purchase agreement, simply formally and legally begins the process by which that can occur. So at some point, the board will eventually be presented with an actual sales agreement, but this option to purchase, merely allows the Commonwealth, the various Commonwealth agencies to begin the process, to send it up to Treasury and to start the whole bureaucratic machinery in process. So we'd be happy to answer any questions at this time, but it's going to be exciting news to share with the public, and it will not change anything. Public will still have access to a beautifully conserved area of the township, but it's just going to merely change hands ownership-wise. So,
Comments, questions?
Mr. Gottschall, there's no cost to the township. They might require a survey, but that will be paid for by DCNR. Is that
that is correct,
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
And no other cost to us.
Any other questions or comments? Chair is open for a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the option to purchase agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Action to approve a municipal lease agreement for lease purchase of a 2024 Timeco street sweeper for the Public Works Department. Mr. Miller.
Yes, thank you. Members of the board, as part of the 2025 budget, the board authorized the purchase and financing of a new third street sweeper for the Public Works Department out of the State Aid Highway Liquid Fuels Fund. And that is set to be leased over 4 years, with the first payment here due after closing, after we sign everything this evening. As part of that, we reached out to nearly 24 financial institutions and lease agencies to quote on the unit. It's a $224,924 unit. And we received 6 formal proposals, with Santander Bank being the most fiscally attractive at 4.81% interest and no fees for the issuance. We've done a number of lease financing arrangements with Santander, so we're familiar with them, and they typically are very competitive. So with that, the action is tonight to approve that lease arrangement to acquire the street sweeper under a 4-year lease in the Highway Liquid Fuels Fund as budgeted. And I'll assist with any further questions the board may have.
Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we have a motion.
I will make the motion to approve the municipal lease agreement for the lease purchase of the street sweeper for the Public Works Department.
I second.
We have a properly made motion and second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is action to approve an employee separation settlement and general release agreement. This matter was discussed in executive session. It is a personnel action. Can I have a motion on this issue?
I make a motion to approve the employee separation settlement and general release agreement.
I will second.
We have a motion made and seconded. Do we have all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next item on the agenda, subdivision and land development. Action to approve a declaration of previous subdivided lots. Plan number 25, Mr. Gutschall.
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the board, this property at 910 Clearville Avenue, the owners of which are seeking to merely consolidate two, as the title would suggest, previously subdivided lots into a single consolidated lot with the purpose of merely allowing for administrative ease, taxing ease, etc. They have no plans for the newly consolidated lot. They just merely want to consolidate for taxing and administrative ease reasonings. And the applicant is not with us this evening, but I'd be happy to help answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments? Is there a motion?
I make a motion to take action to approve a declaration of previously subdivided lots. We've seen this at least, what, 2 or 3 times before?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Will this be the last time, or is there something else we'll have to?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Not for this particular property. We haven't seen this before.
We
I mean,
haven't seen the Bortner, okay.
no,
All
we
right.
do see these sorts of actions kind of routinely, but not for this particular property.
Okay, all right, I misspoke, all right.
Do we have a motion?
I need a second, I did make the
Second?
motion.
Okay, thank you.
And that,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Aye. We have the second part of this, the improvement guarantees. Do we need any explanation on that, Mr. Gutschall?
No, sir?
Motion? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, are we, okay. So we're showing the ones from March 18th. Are we also going to show, thank you. Okay. Are we also going to show the ones from April 1st? Thank you. All right. So the Central Dauphin East Middle School track extension, they haven't started working on that. So that's the reason for the need for the extension. St. Mark's Church multi-use court, they haven't started working on that either. They began it in April of 2024, but to date, nothing has been done. So if we go ahead and give the extension, it'll be a 2-year extension. The Estates of Union Deposit Stormwater Management Plan started with $240,000, and they've been working diligently on that. It's down to $5,000, so I feel very comfortable as the treasurer, based on my conversation with the finance manager, going ahead and approving that extension. 2210 Cider Press Road release, the pool is complete. That's what that was. BRV Phase 3, Blue Ridge Village. Sam, we're releasing that. However, as I questioned Mr. Miller on this does not include the park area, so that will come up later. But everything else for Blue Ridge Village Phase 3 is done. Elizabeth Village Phase 1, they're just establishing that. A letter of credit for about $1.3 million. For the first phase has been set up, so I'm approving that. 5340 Wilshire Road, they're establishing that. Forest Swimming Pool, 2321 Forest Lane, another swimming pool. So all of these I've approved according to my second-class township code duties as treasurer. So I make a motion to approve the improvement guarantees as outlined. I need a second.
I'll second. For March 18th and April 1st.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no? The ayes have it. Payment of bills, Lower Paxton Township and Lower Paxton Township Authority. As treasurer, Supervisor Thompson, you have comments on this?
Having reviewed the 3 check registers with the finance manager, I make a motion for Lower Paxton Township and Lower Paxton Township Authority to pay their bills.
Second.
We have properly made motion and a second to pay the bills. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. Do we have any announcements? Any announcements? Seeing none, I have a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
We are adjourned. I'm sorry?
Pennsylvania Leadership
Yes,
just so you know.
yes. Yeah, Loman said he would sign me up for that. I was gonna do my own sign up, but he said he would sponsor me for that, so, yeah. Well, I have to work for my dad first. So,
I'm sorry?
my dad is,
Oh, they're
Danny,
traveling?
he
They're
woke me up
traveling?